Hey guys, how's it going? TJ here with Dead History, and I'm here today with Mr. Henry.
Hello.
And today is our next installment of our Declaration of Independence Signer series, and we're taking a look at who, Henry?
William Hooper.
That's right, William Hooper, the guy behind us, right? And he's our very first signer from the state of...
North Carolina.
That's right, North Carolina. North Carolina, right? Just like the old Chicago Bulls introduction when they used to introduce Michael Jordan. I remember I played it for you, right? Yeah, there you go. He has no idea what I'm talking about. So, before we get into William Hooper, and we got some really cool things to tell you about William Hooper, first, Henry, what do the people need to do?
Hit subscribe down below, leave all your comments, questions, drop a like, and hit the thumbs up.
That's right. Thumbs up, like, comments, questions, hit the subscribe, and then, of course, also hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we do release a new video. And you know when that is?
Every single week.
It's every single week. He's right. So here we go. We're going to do our next Declaration of Independence Signer series, taking a look at our first North Carolinian, William Hooper. And this is Dead History. Hey guys, TJ back with you, here with Henry.
Hello.
And the man behind us, William Hooper, the signer from the state of North Carolina. Our very first from North Carolina.
Yep.
Some awesome things to tell you about William Hooper.
Yes.
Such as, he was actually born in, any idea, Henry? Any guess? You've been there before. It's no, but you're not too far. It's New England up in
Massachusetts.
Yep, but where? You were gonna say it. What's the big city in Massachusetts? Boston, Massachusetts. He's got it. Yes, William Hooper, born in Boston, Massachusetts. He attended school as a young boy in Boston, and he actually went to Harvard. Yeah, and graduated from Harvard. We're going to tell you all about that. Early life in Boston, Massachusetts, and then he made his way down to North Carolina, where he became involved in politics, and then eventually went on to sign the Declaration of Independence for the state of North Carolina. So pretty cool stuff. We're going to tell you all about it. So they did the likes, they did the subscribes, comments, questions, all that stuff, notification bell. They did it all, Henry. Now, before we get into William Hooper, what do they got to go get?
Get the popcorn, the pretzels, the potato chips, the soda.
Wait, and the leftover turkey and stuffing, cranberry sauce.
Maybe some chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies, apparently, yeah. Pumpkin pie, apple pie, all the Thanksgiving leftovers. Go get them, get your snacks, because here we go. Next Declaration of Independence Signer series looking at William Hooper from North Carolina. You excited, Henry?
Yes.
As you sit here with your Montana shirt on, right? What? You got a Montana shirt on? No? Yeah, but isn't that it? Yeah, it's the state of Montana. See that? It's a Montana dude shirt. You didn't even know that. You just thought it said dude. It's shaped like the state of Montana, knucklehead. Well, now you know, right? Yeah, it blew your mind, didn't it? Well, here we go. William Hooper, North Carolina. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome. Henry here with Dead History, and welcome to our next episode of our Declaration of Independence Signer series. Today we're taking a look at William Hooper, our first signer from the state of North Carolina.
Hey guys, how's it going? TJ here with Dead History, and Henry with our great introduction. Thanks, Henry.
You're welcome.
Great job today. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And today we're taking a look, as you said, it's our next Declaration of Independence Signer series installment, our next episode, we're taking a look at our first signer from the state of what, Henry?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. And what's his name?
William Hooper.
That's right. Great job. William Hooper, our very first signer from the state of North Carolina. We have some really awesome things to tell you about William Hooper. For the most part, I'm going to be flying solo for the audio today, but Henry did a great job giving us an introduction. Really nice job, Henry.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, yeah, William Hooper, there's a lot of great things to tell you guys. In this part one, of course, we're going to take a look at the early life of William Hooper and basically the time leading all the way up to the Declaration of Independence signing time. So it's going to be his early life, his probably time when he first got down to North Carolina. Now, he was born in where, Henry? Do you remember? Think Red Sox.
Boston, Massachusetts.
That's right, Boston, Massachusetts. And he went to college at a very prestigious college. Do you remember what university?
No.
John F. Kennedy went there too. Harvard?
Harvard.
There you go, Harvard. I know it's kind of tough to remember. But yeah, we're going to get into all those things today in our part one, the early life of William Hooper. So let's get right into it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Our first North Carolina signer. What do you think, Henry? Should we jump right in?
Yes.
Jump right in, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, here we go. William Hooper from North Carolina. Take a look. William Thomas Hooper Sr. was the first child of 5 born in Boston, Massachusetts on June 28th of 1742. His father, William Hooper, was a Scottish minister who studied at the University of Edinburgh prior to immigrating to Boston. His mother, Mary Denny, was the daughter of John Denny, a well-respected merchant from Massachusetts. Hooper's father had hoped that William would follow in his footsteps as an Episcopal priest and placed his son at the age of 7 in Boston Latin School, headed by Mr. John Lavelle, a highly distinguished educator. In 1757, at the age of 16, William Hooper entered Harvard University, where he was highly regarded as an industrious student. In 1760, Hooper graduated from Harvard with honors, obtaining a Bachelor of Arts. However, after graduating, William Hooper did not wish to pursue a career in the clergy as his father had hoped. Instead, he decided on a career in law, studying under James Otis, a popular Boston attorney who was regarded as a radical. William Hooper studied under Otis until 1764, and once completing his bar exam, he decided to leave Massachusetts, in part because of the city's abundance of attorneys. And again, as I always say, I'm going to be reading from several different sources, probably about 4 or 5 different sources. So, obviously, I may repeat some things, but the reason I'm doing this is just to try to show the different contrasts in some of the information as well. Although William Hooper seems to be pretty accurate throughout everything you read as far as dates and such, but right off the bat, we're kind of in discrepancy. I just read that it was June 28th of 1742 when he was born, and this source says William Hooper, you will see here in a second, a different date. William Hooper, the son of the Reverend William and Mary Denny Hooper, was born in Boston on June 17th of 1742. Different day. The Reverend Hooper, originally a Congregationalist, changed to the Episcopal Church during 1746. He was born in Scotland on a farm located at the convergence of the Eden and Tweed rivers in the vicinity of the village of Kelso into the family of Robert and Mary Jaffrey Hooper. The Reverend Hooper and his wife, Mary, had 4 other children: John, George, Mary, and Thomas. William Hooper was born in Boston on June 28th of 1742, the oldest of the family's 5 children. As a young boy of about 7, following instruction at home, William attended Boston Latin School under John Lavelle for about 7 years. Later, he entered Harvard College as a sophomore due to his earlier education. Subsequent to graduation from Harvard during 1760, William Hooper expanded his education by studying law under James Otis, to the dismay of his family. Although his family hoped William would follow his father and become a minister, he chose to become a lawyer. But in addition, his father was also a loyalist and aware that Otis was a radical patriot. William was a Harvard grad, but his father and paternal grandfather both graduated from Edinburgh University. Like some of the other men who entered that group of patriots who pledged their lives and fortune for the cause of liberty during the quest for independence, William Hooper developed a deep interest in the classics. Nonetheless, he did not practice in Boston. He moved to North Carolina and established himself in Wilmington during 1764. So we're definitely going to go with the date of June 28th, 1742. That seems to be pretty accurate, and to be honest, it is the date that's used in several different accounts and resources. So I'm definitely going to go with William Hooper's exact birth date of June 28th of 1742 in Boston, Massachusetts, of course. Boston in the 1760s was a hard place for a young lawyer to make a living. There were too many attorneys there already. William Hooper, fresh from his studies under James Otis, was acutely aware of that. Therefore, like many other New Englanders, Hooper moved south in order to begin his profession where there was a realistic chance of success. He opened his practice in 1764 in Wilmington, North Carolina. It did not take long for Hooper to rise politically and socially in his new environment. So, there you go. Just a little bit more. Let me see what else I can read here. The signer who feared democracy, interestingly enough. It took a lot to impress John Adams, and William Hooper had all the right stuff. Adams regarded Hooper as one of the finest speakers in Congress and likened him to 2 famous orators, Richard Henry Lee, the Virginia signer who introduced the resolution calling for independence, and Patrick Henry, the renowned Virginia radical who has been forever linked with the famous "Give me liberty or give me death" speech, even though he probably never uttered those words. A minister's son, William Hooper was born in Boston and graduated from Harvard while still in his teens. Early in his career as a lawyer, he made the unusual decision to move from New England to the South. Most historians assume he was looking for an untapped market for his practice, though others insist that the burgeoning rebel didn't want to embarrass his family, which was loyal to the crown. This latter theory is hard to believe because William Hooper was sympathetic to loyalists. Besides, if he wanted to avoid embarrassing a family loyal to the crown, he sure went about it the wrong way. And again, some of this is just kind of repeating things. William Hooper, lawyer, patriot, received his preparatory education with Mr. Lavelle at the Boston Latin School. He entered Harvard College as a sophomore and graduated in 1760 with a bachelor's degree. In 1761, he began to read law under James Otis and was admitted to the bar in 1764. William Hooper's family remained loyal to England throughout the Revolutionary War. He, however, had become more liberal, perhaps as a result of his years of study with the patriotic James Otis. He moved to Wilmington, North Carolina in 1764, and soon was in high favor with the planters and lawyers in the lower Cape Fear region. As Deputy Attorney General, he incurred the hatred of the regulars and was treated roughly by them. So a little bit more about his family. His father, the Reverend William Hooper, was born in Scotland in 1702. He graduated in Edinburgh with a degree, a bachelor's, I believe, in March 26th of 1723. He was ordained at Boston West Church on May 18th of 1737 and was settled at Boston West Church from 1737 to 1746. The Reverend William Hooper married at Boston on October 18th of 1739, Mary Denny. His father, William Hooper, died at Boston on April 14th of 1747. So, a little bit just about his background and his father and his family. His father, coming from Scotland, was born over in Scotland. Interesting stuff. Now I'm going to read from that kind of older source that I always tell you guys about. Again, a book I believe was written in the 1800s, I believe. But if not, it was definitely a long time ago. William Hooper was a native of Boston, province of Massachusetts Bay, where he was born on the 17th of June, 1742. Again, this one says June 17th, but again, I'm pretty sure, almost positive, that it was June 28th. So we're going to stick with that. His father's name was also William Hooper. He was born in Scotland in the year 1702, and soon after leaving the University of Edinburgh, he migrated to America. He settled in Boston, where he became connected in marriage with the daughter of Mr. John Denny, a respectable merchant. Not long after his emigration, he was elected pastor of Trinity Church in Boston, in which office such were his fidelity and affectionate intercourse with the people of his charge, that long after his death, he was remembered by them with peculiar veneration and regard. William Hooper, a biographical notice of whom we are now to give, was the eldest of 5 children. At an early age, he exhibited indications of considerable talent. Until he was 7 years old, he was instructed by his father, but at length became a member of a free grammar school in Boston, which at that time was under the care of Mr. John Lavelle, a teacher of distinguished eminence. At the age of 15, he entered Harvard University, where he acquired the reputation of a good classical scholar, and at length in 1760 commenced Bachelor of Arts with distinguished honor. Mr. Hooper had destined his son for the ministerial office, but his inclination turning towards the law, he obtained his father's consent to pursue the studies of that profession in the office of the celebrated James Otis. On being qualified for the bar, he left the province of Massachusetts with the design of pursuing the practice of his profession in North Carolina. After spending a year or two in that province, his father became exceedingly desirous that he should return home. The health of his son had greatly suffered in consequence of an excessive application to the duties of his profession. In addition to this, the free manner of living, generally adopted by the wealthier inhabitants of the South, and in which he had probably participated, had not a little contributed to the injury of his health. Notwithstanding the wishes of his father, in regard to his favorite son, the latter at length, in the fall of 1767, fixed his residence permanently in North Carolina. Now, this account I'm going to read you actually has some pretty cool information about the birth date, which is very interesting. So it actually seems like June 17th is the correct date. I know, right? This is crazy. But listen to this. William Hooper, one of North Carolina's 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence, foremost patriot leader, writer, orator, attorney, and legislator, was the oldest of 5 children of the Scots divine, the Reverend William Hooper, second rector of Trinity Episcopal Church in Boston, Massachusetts, and Mary Denny Hooper, daughter of Boston merchant John Denny. He was the grandson of Robert and Mary Jaffrey Hooper of the parish of Edmund, or Ednam? I think it's Ednam, near Kelso, Scotland. It should be noted that William Hooper's blackened sandstone slab in Hillsbury, North Carolina's Old Town Cemetery carries the new style or Gregorian calendar birth date, 28th of June, 1742, 11 days later than the old style or Julian calendar date of June 17th of 1742, used in the published accounts of Hooper. The slab is thought to have been placed between 1812 and 1818 by the signer's only daughter and surviving child, Elizabeth, Mrs. Henry Hearn Waters, who evidently preferred the new style date. An unusually delicate, nervous child, William was at first painstakingly taught at home by his father, himself a classicalist, and orator of some note, educated at the University of Edinburgh. At age 8, the boy was sent to the Boston Public Latin School, where he worked so hard under headmaster John Lavelle, a celebrated disciplinarian and staunch loyalist, that at 15 he entered the sophomore class of Harvard College on October 7th of 1757. He was graduated in 1760 with marked distinction in oratory, surpassing, it is said, even his father in that field. So, it looks like his only daughter preferred the new style, or the Gregorian calendar birth date of June 28th of 1742. She preferred this on his original headstone. So, it looks like the actual old-style Julian calendar date of June 17th of 1742 is actually his real birth date. Very interesting. Although the Reverend Mr. Hooper had hoped that his oldest son and namesake would enter the ministry, William's own inclination led him to law, and in 1761, his father allowed him to study under the brilliant James Otis, famed for his knowledge of common, civil, and admiralty law. Various Hooper biographers have stated that Otis's fiery stance for colonial rights indoctrinated the young Hooper. In 1763, Harvard College conferred an M.A. on Hooper, and in 1764, he settled temporarily in Wilmington, North Carolina, to begin the practice of law. Hooper, who was handsome, well-bred, and well-educated, with courtly manners and a pleasing personality, was warmly accepted by the planters and lawyers of the lower Cape Fear. By June of 1766, he was unanimously elected recorder of the borough. From the beginning, however, Hooper's health had been precarious in the low-lying Wilmington area. He was seriously considering leaving New Hanover County when his father died without warning one Sunday, falling down suddenly in his garden. William's education was to be his chief inheritance, although his father's will also left to him all my books and manuscripts, a legacy that he treasured. He apparently made a firm decision to continue his legal career so well begun in North Carolina. So very interesting stuff, guys. Now that account is probably the best one that I've read, with the most really in-depth, accurate information regarding the kind of discrepancy with the birth date of June 17th and June 28th. So very cool. Now we know that it truly is June 17th. Last little account I'm going to read, same kind of information. William Hooper was the oldest of 5 children of the Reverend William Hooper and Mary Denny, daughter of Boston merchant John Denny. Hooper was the grandson of Robert and Mary Jaffrey Hooper of the parish of Ednam near Kelso, Scotland. Hooper was born on June 17th of 1742 in Boston. Hooper's father, the Reverend William Hooper, was a congregational minister educated at Edinburgh University who immigrated to America in 1734 from Ednam, Scotland to Boston, Massachusetts. He was rector of the West Congregational Church on Cambridge Street in Boston from 1737 to 1740. He left that church and became an Episcopalian. He then returned to London, England, and was ordained by the Church of England. He returned to Boston in 1747 and became the second rector of Trinity Church, where he served until his death in 1764. That's his father, William Hooper, we were speaking of course. William Hooper's early education at the age of 7 was in the Boston Latin School under John Lavelle, headmaster. When he completed these studies, he entered the sophomore class of Harvard College in 1757 at age 16, graduating in 1760. At Harvard, Hooper ranked 8th in a class of 27, a ranking determined traditionally not by academic achievement, but by the social standing of his parents. Although the Reverend Hooper had groomed William for the ministry, the younger Hooper preferred the legal profession. Therefore, in 1761, he read law under the fiery colonial rights exhorting James Otis. Hooper in 1764 settled temporarily in Wilmington, North Carolina, to begin the practice of law. He was warmly accepted by the planters and lawyers of the Lower Cape Fear and became a circuit court lawyer following the sessions of the court and traveling hundreds of miles on horseback. By June of 1766, he was unanimously elected recorder of the borough. From the beginning, Hooper's health had been precarious in the low-lying Wilmington area. We had said this, and then he considered actually going back to Boston, when his father died, leaving New Hanover County down in North Carolina. So pretty interesting stuff about his early life in Boston. The little bit of a discrepancy with the age, or not the age, I should say, the birthday, of being 11 days of a difference. But we found out it's definitely June 17th, so that's interesting. So I think that's going to do it for part 1 here, guys. I don't have any bonus footage. Now, I already did put up some pictures that I found of some of the churches that his father was practicing at. Now, if I find any additional really cool stuff, now this is all stock photos, keep in mind. I have not actually, I've probably passed right by some of these churches and places in Boston, and I didn't even know it. So that's why these are not my pictures. They're stock photos. But if I find any really cool stuff regarding like his early life in Boston, I will put it in a bonus footage, but I don't think there is going to be anything. So when I end things here in a minute, make sure it doesn't say any bonus footage, but I'm like 90% sure there won't be. So with all that being said, there we go. The very first installment here of a North Carolina signer of the Declaration of Independence, William Hooper. Part 1, complete. Tomorrow, Part 2. The look at his life down in North Carolina, leading up, and then his marriage, the political rise of William Hooper, him getting involved in politics, and then, of course, the signing of the Declaration of Independence by William Hooper, and then what happened after that? What was his life like after the Declaration signing? We're going to take a look at all of that in Part 2 tomorrow, and then, of course, it wouldn't be dead history without looking at his death and his grave sites. Yes, plural, grave sites. I did visit his original grave site and his current grave site. So, you're going to see all of that in Part 2 tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Really had a lot of fun doing this. I'm excited. We're on to a new state, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it, of course. I think even Henry thought that this was pretty cool. Right, Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're not sure? So how about that? I found out that I was telling the people here in this Part 1 that his birth date was actually June 17th, but his gravesite, his original gravesite, said June 28th because his daughter liked the way that the writing was different, and it brought up like a different kind of calendar date. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So if you would like visit his original gravesite, you would think his birthday's June 28th, but it's not. It's June 17th. Pretty cool? That'd be like me saying your birthday's on October 29th. 11 days after your actual birthday. Crazy, right? You don't find any of this interesting, do you? He's kind of sitting here with this blank stare. What do you think?
Cool.
Cool. That's it. All right, Henry. Well, thank you for the introduction, and thanks for helping out.
You're welcome.
All right, and we'll see the people when? Tomorrow, right?
Yes.
For
Tomorrow.
Part
2.
Part 2, where we're going to look at all the legacy and then the death of William Hooper, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Henry. So there you go, guys. Henry, not a man of many words. But yes, tomorrow, Part 2. Thank you for all the subscribes, the likes, the comments, the questions, all of it. Keep it all coming. We really appreciate you very much. And we will see you tomorrow for Part 2. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.